First, the news about Syria, where the situation is evolving rapidly. It's changing rapidly. The rebels have pressed their lightning advance, saying they had seized most of the south as the government forces dug in to defend key central city of Homs to try and save President Bashar al-Assad's 24-year-old rule. Besides capturing Aleppo in the north, Hama in the center and Daraa al-Zor in east, rebels say they have taken the southern Quneitra, Daraa and Suwaida and advanced to within 50 kilometers of capital Damascus. Amid all this, the Syrian presidency has denied reports of President Bashar al-Assad fleeing the country, saying he is continuing to perform his duties. Some media reports say that Bashar al-Assad has fled the country. President's office defies that, and there is intense fighting going on in the country.
As fighting continues in Syria, the rebel forces have started closing in Bashar al-Assad-ruled Damascus after seizing towns close by on Saturday. Syrian Defense Ministry has denied the army had fled the positions near the capital. Besides capturing Aleppo in the north, Hama in the center and Daraa al-Zor in east, rebels say they have taken southern Quneitra, Daraa and Suwaida and advanced to within 50 kilometers of the capital. Rebel commander Hassan Abdul Ghani, with the Islamist-led alliance that launched the offensive in the country's northwest, said that its forces have begun the final phase of encircling the capital, Damascus. Syria's military withdrew from positions in the Damascus countryside roughly 10 kilometers from the capital as rebel forces pressed their offensive on government-held territories. Meanwhile, Iran has reaffirmed its unwavering support for Assad's regime. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi met with Iraqi and Syrian counterparts in Baghdad as Tehran doubled down on its alliance.
The threats of terrorism in Syria will not be limited to Syria, and it is a threat to all neighbors and the entire region. If Syria becomes the shelter for terrorists, with the return of ISIS and other terrorist groups, it will create a great threat to the region, and this threat will definitely not be limited to Syria and will accelerate into Syria's neighboring countries such as Iraq, Jordan and Turkey.
Qatar's Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani has said that Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has failed to engage with his people.
Had an opportunity in that time when the war over there has calmed down, yet Assad didn't seize this opportunity to start engaging and restoring his relationship with his people, and we didn't see any serious movement, whether it's on the return of the refugees or on reconciling with his own people.
The US is also keeping a close eye on developments. Secretary of the State Antony J. Blinken spoke today with the Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan to discuss developments. In view of deteriorating security situation in Syria, India issued an advisory to citizens to avoid all travel to Syria until further notice. The US and Russia have also asked their citizens to leave the country immediately. At least 370,000 people, mostly women and children, have now been displaced in Syria due to the latest escalation in fighting, according to the UN Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. The ongoing fighting in Syria is expected to displace around 1.5 million people, says the UN World Food Programme. This is a breaking point for a food crisis in the country where 12.9 million people are already considered food insecure. With Nupur Sayyid Afsarul Hasan for DD India.